Yo, what's going on with y'all? Today I'm gonna be showing you how to make dark samples for artists like Rob49 and the Menace. If you're new to the channel, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, like this video, and with that being said, let's get right to it. Alright, so first I started off with this Contact piano, and it's a really simple MIDI. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. Dark melodies like this, I like to go into the Phrygian scale, and basically what the Phrygian scale is, to me what the Phrygian scale is just it takes each note and makes it to where each semitone is together in the scale, if that makes sense. Like C and C sharp, D and D sharp, E and F, you know what I'm saying? But it basically just makes everything more tense. That's how I like to see it. And to get a MIDI like this is really simple. All I was doing was just messing around with the root note and the 2 in the scale. So the C and the C sharp. And then what I was doing is grabbing the 5th in the C Phrygian scale, which is the G. All I did was just invert the G down 1 octave. And then once I created this, all I did was just copy and paste it and throw it up an octave. I really wasn't messing with this, so I thought it was too simple. So what I did was just export it and render it out, and then I came up with this. And remember, I reversed it, so now the high octave part is now in the beginning and the low octave is in the end. For my mix, all I put was just a portal. The default portal preset, I literally just left it alone because I liked the way it sounded. I added some reverb with the mix turned down and the low cut turned up, and then a little bit of Valhalla delay with the bus turned down to 23%. After that, I went back into Contact in the same piano, and all I did was just grab the root notes and paste them for bassline. And the reason why I used F, even though it wasn't in my melody, was just because I knew that it would sound good with the C. So that's why I just used it, but whatever works for you. I didn't put nothing on the mix either. I just left it alone. I just turned it up or turned it down a little bit, sorry. After that, I went into analog and I pulled up this long wave preset. I made this pattern real quick. All this is just an expanded version of the original melody. So I have the C sharp, the C, and the G, except all I did was just, I added the same notes, but I just expanded it a little bit more, throwing this up an octave, and then having a little bit more movement to it. And then what I did was just copy and paste it again and throw it up another octave. And then in the mix, all I did was just add reverb. I didn't need no EQs for it because I liked the way it sounded with the frequencies, so I just left it alone. After that, I went back in the analog lab again and I pulled up this foreign preset, and then this is what it sounds like. These are very simple patterns, but with the right sound selection and effects, the most simplest things can turn into the craziest sounds. So for this pattern, all I did was again take these 3 notes, but instead of just creating the little melody, I decided to turn this into like a pad-ish sound. So I grabbed all 3 of them, expanded it, and then added these little 2 accent notes, which is again C and G, and just made it move a little bit, so it wasn't that boring. For the mix, all I did was go into Effect Rack, pull out the analog chorus preset. I left it alone. I pulled out halftime and just left it normal. And then again, I went into Valhalla Vintage Rare, but this time I just left it alone again. Then we went back in the analog lab again, pulled out this Paradiso preset, and then came up with this little idea. Again, all I used was just a Phrygian scale just to create that tension in the sample. With the effects, I went into Shaper Box 2 and I pulled out this little pan. I like using Shaper Box 2 over like Pan Man and stuff just because I could use more stuff like stretching and pitch reverse, some volume sidechains, filters. Then I pulled up a reverb, Valhalla vintage reverb. I put the mix down to 32.8% and then a 470 hertz low cut. Then I went into Omnisphere and I pulled out the Growler Moog bass. Solid bass. I love this bass. All I did was just copy and paste the bass line and just throw it in here. I didn't put nothing on the effect rack, so I just left it alone and just leveled it. I went back into Omnisphere and pulled out this voice choir, and then all I did was just copy and paste this pad MIDI into the choir, and then this is what it sounds like by itself. And then for the mix, all I did was EQ a little bit of the mids and a little bit of the high mids. Added a shaper box with some pan. And then again, I went into the volume tab of this and just pulled out a sidechain and lowered the mix down so it wasn't like a harsh sidechain, but you could definitely kind of hear it. And then I went and pulled out a reverb, dropped the mix to 18, low cut 320. After that, the sample was pretty much done. I just wanted to add a little accent here, so I decided to grab just a normal bell and then throw it on the beginning of the sample. And then for me, I personally like throwing on a reverb and delay for my bell. So yeah, once you're done, you have this. So I didn't have any drums for this sample, so what I did real quick was just add a quick little drum pattern. So this is what it sounds like.
Yeah, this a hit right here, Xave.
And yeah, that's how I make samples for artists like Rob49 and Anti the Menace. If y'all did enjoy this video, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. I told y'all we coming with more videos. And with that being said, I'm out.